Welcome to Getting Real. I'm your host, Monique Hom. On this show, we talk about what it really takes to build an abundant and joyful life. This is beyond the social media highlight reel. I'm excited to share today an incredible interview. This is part of our 20-week seven-figure lifestyle interview series featuring standout conversations from our seven-figure lifestyle summit with seven, eight, nine-figure women entrepreneurs. The live event wrapped, but I am sharing these timeless, wisdom filled interviews with you. And today you are going to hear from Moneeka Sawyer, the blissful investor, and how she turned $10,000 into an $11 million real estate portfolio, working only 5 to 10 hours a month without burning out. We're talking about bliss as a business strategy, values driven wealth, and how you too can use this with practical shifts, how you can start using this right away. So, this episode is for you if you are a woman entrepreneur or professional and you want real freedom, you want to get out of the nonstop hustle and grind, you're an investor who wants consistent results with less stress, and basically just anyone who's craving wealth that actually feels good. So, and if you want to receive the special gifts that Moneeka talks about in this interview, plus over $4,000 in VIP gifts and all the interviews in this incredible series for just $99, it's not too late. You can grab access to those at www.tinyurl.com/VIP seven figure. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, where we are exploring how to create not just a seven-figure business, but seven-figure lifestyle that feels deeply fulfilling, joyful, and aligned. Today's guest has not only created that lifestyle, she teaches women around the world to do the same. Moneeka Sawyer is known as the Blissful Millionaire, and she has truly earned the title. Starting with just $10,000, she built an $11 million real estate portfolio while working only 5 to 10 hours per month with minimal stress and a whole lot of bliss. She's an international best-selling author of Choose Bliss, host of the acclaimed podcast Real Estate Investing for Women, and has been featured on NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and stages like NASDAQ, Harvard, and Carnegie Hall. Her mission is to show that wealth doesn't have to come from hustle or burnout, but can be built from peace and joy. It's perfect guest for this. So welcome, Moneeka.
Hello there, Monique. So good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. By the way, I love your necklace. You look amazing. You look so great.
Thank you. Can I tell you the story of this necklace? It's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So I recently was at a film festival in LA. I have a new movie I'm touting right now. So I was meeting interesting people, and I met a director from India. She's a Bollywood actress. Her name is Trupti Boir, Bhoir, and she has a fashion line. And her whole thing is she does movies about that make an impact. So she's trying to help the women in India to elevate their financial situation so that they can have choice. You know, that's completely what I'm aligned with, right? You elevate women so we make our decisions based on choice rather than need. So that's my whole thing. So then of course I have to buy her stuff because it's all made by women in the villages in India that
Wow.
are either widows or rejected for some reason. And some, this is a horrible piece of this story, they're bride slaves. So she helps to free them. And then they have to figure out how to survive. And through making necklaces like this and this outfit, they're able to make money so that they can survive. So it's like fully aligned with everything that I stand for. And it's beautiful. Like it's so much fun to wear.
Love that.
Yeah,
I'm in the lab. I have to get the website.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Moneeka, you've definitely built something extraordinary and done it on your own terms. So, can you tell us a little bit about where your journey started and what led you to build wealth through real estate while prioritizing bliss?
Yes. So I'm actually a legacy real estate person. And what that means is that my parents built their wealth through real estate. They came to the United States as arranged marriage newlyweds with $200 in their pocket. And dad had heard that the ticket to wealth in the United States was real estate. So when I was born, filled with hope and ambition, they bought their first piece of property and then built their real estate portfolio till they could send me to college. They sent my sisters to college. They paid for our weddings. So real estate has done a lot for our family. However, my dad did it the traditional way. There was a lot of stress. He would lose sleep at night. He had big dark bags under his eyes from the loss of sleep and the stress. I would hear about the mortgages and the toilets and the tenants and all of those things that we assume are part of that real estate investing journey. So by the time I graduated from college, I was seriously a no, thank you. I do not want that life. And I was trying to figure out the adulting thing, like how was I going to be an adult? How was I going to make my stamp in the world in my career? And I had a conversation with my dad right after I graduated from college that kind of changed everything. I was telling him how it stressed me out. I don't want to be in real estate. I can't live the life that he lived. And he said to me, Moneeka, everybody has money problems and everybody has stress. Do you want poor people money problems or do you want rich people money problems?
Mic drop.
And my first reaction was, do rich people have money problems? And they do. Everybody does, right? We've all got our own kind of stress. And in that moment, I decided, okay, I would rather the rich people money problems. However, I'm going to do this my way. And this is a big immigrant thing. I'm not sure, Monique, if you can relate to this. Our parents were like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to give my children what they need and with the best life possible. And then the immigrants' kids are like, I am not working that hard. And so that was definitively me. Like, I was not going to work that hard. And so I decided to go into investing in real estate. My dad could not help me out because he was in a big pinch at the time because he was paying for my two sisters' college. So I had to start on my own. My husband and I got married, and instead of asking for gifts, we asked for money to buy our first house. And that's what we did. We got 10 grand and we bought our first house, and that's how the journey started. Now, everything that I had learned was from my dad. So my first investment properties, I did have all of those problems we talk about. Just because we make a decision doesn't mean that everything changes, but it does start the journey. And I focused, like pinpoint focused on, I need to make this kinder to my life. I always say I wanted a business that would add to the joy in my life rather than sucking the life out of me. And a little by little, through different coaching and through reading and education and trial and error, I was able to create systems and processes that allowed me then to build a business that felt very joyful and very blissful. And that was, I always say it's my $1 million side hustle. It wasn't my main gig. Like I built this whole thing 5 to 10 hours a month. The rest of the time I was doing other fun things.
I love that so much. Working, I like taking 10,000 to make it into 11 million while just working these few hours a month. That definitely sounds like a dream. What do you think were the specific mindset shifts that were most important in creating that level of ease and abundance?
So the first one was joy is a priority. And most people will not make this a priority, especially when you're young. You're like, most people, the priorities are ambition. I'm going to have a really strong career. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to grow a family. I'm going to find the perfect guy. there's all these things that are high priority. But for me, the single highest priority was joy. And a lot of that just came from the suffering that I had seen and experienced through most of my life. So this had just become the thing that was the biggest focus for me. So when I decided to build a business, the single most important thing that I decided that made everything else possible was I am going to do this in joy. No matter how many people say, Moneeka, you need to pay your dues, this business is not blissful, but it will give you the money to make you blissful. All of those things that people told me, I was like, yeah, but that's not what I'm going to do. And I really stuck to it. And that's the thing. We can be so convinced by everybody else's beliefs and intended advice, but you have to decide what's important to you. My highest value was joy. I wasn't going to turn my back on that.
I love that. Yeah, I often talk to my goddesses about that pleasure, joy, fun. It's like people often will think, okay, I'm going to get on this journey and the destination will be great. So I'm going to suffer, I'm going to
Mhm.
hustle, I'm going to grind, I'm going to until I get to this journey, to this destination. And then it will feel like pleasure and then it'll feel fun. And it's no, if the journey isn't joyful, then the destination won't be either.
Right. And you're not going to
And
make it.
life is the journey. Life is in the journey. It's in the everyday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to put in here, and I know you talk about this, Monique, all the time. It doesn't mean that it's easy. And it doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. And it doesn't mean that we don't have weeks of crying. It just, the business does that to you. Life
Yeah.
does that to you. My marriage does that to me. Like everything, right? Everything that's important in our life is going to have challenges. It doesn't mean that you give up. And it does mean that you stay aligned with your deepest values and what's most important to you. My husband loves the hustle. He works a W-2 job, but he loves working really long hours and creating and coding and all that stuff. He loves that. I don't. So we do our lives differently. So what does bliss look like to you? It may not be this really mellow life that I've had. I don't have a mellow life. Around my business, we were talking before this show that you're like, I was like, $11 million. I've never talked about that before. I usually keep it at 5 million. And you're like, oh, I just talked to another woman that is worth 750 million. I was like, oh, that gives me context. But I'm not willing to work that hard. I'm not willing to do that hustle. 11 million is fine with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's okay. That'll give me the lifestyle that I want. And so those are the sorts of things that you need to think about. What is it that you want? How hard are you willing and wanting to work? Is working hard the thing that gives you joy? Or is it not? Real estate was not a thing necessarily that gave me joy. It was those other things that I did in
Yeah.
the non 10 hours a month that gave me joy.
I love that. And that's like a main takeaway from that is that it's like what is joyful and blissful is really determined by you. It's not like
Absolutely.
my bliss may or may not be your bliss, but it's like you get to determine what that is and but then to actually move towards it. It's so good.
Right.
Why do you think bliss is such a powerful foundation for building lasting wealth, especially for women?
It's all about sustainability. If we hustle so hard that we burn ourselves out, we've got nothing left to give to our businesses and to our lives and to ourselves. So bliss, let me actually define it for you, Monique, the way that I see. Bliss is a deep sense of joy and contentment. It's emotional mastery and emotional resilience. So it's not about being happy all the time. If you're a blissful person, you have access to all of your emotions, all the way from despair to ecstasy, right? But you live in this place where you feel you're predisposed to feeling joy all the time, and you have the tools to get back to that place. I call it the bliss equilibrium. In order to have a sustainable life, you need to be able to live in that place. If you spend too much time in burnout, frustration, challenges, or too much time in ecstasy, which is also really distracting, right? If you spend too much time in these like really dramatic places, you're not able to sustain a life that's productive and exciting and fulfilling and meaningful and playful and joyful, right? All of those things come from having a really, not, I don't say balance, but a life that's based on your version of bliss. Because
Yeah.
if you burn out, it stops,
Mm,
right? And bliss allows you to not burn out. Or if you burn out, which I have, if you burn out, it helps you to come back to that
yeah.
place of building a life that you love.
I love that. So what's coming to me is the metaphor of you get to play all 88 keys on the piano and the highs to the lows, but playing them like in with harmony as opposed to
Yes,
dissonance and in the way that like you fancy. So it could be your jazz or it could be classical or it could be heavy metal or hard rock, whatever it is.
absolutely.
But it's just like you get to choose the melody, you that whatever makes you happy, but you get to play all the keys. It's not like we just play middle C. Ding, 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 ding.
That's right. But
Yeah,
also, like as a singer, because I'm a singer, I'm an alto. So the piano plays this rhythm and it'll play the type of music, and you
yeah,
have access to all those keys. But I have a range that I sing in. That
yeah,
range is my blissful range. In singing, my voice is trained for that range. In my life, the range can continually get better through life as I
yeah.
practice living in bliss.
I love that. So good. What would you say to a woman who's financially successful, right? So there's money in the bank, but she feels tired, disconnected, or she's sacrificing too much of her joy along the way?
Come back to your values. And interestingly, I was in that exact same place 2 years ago. I had finished completely successful projects, but was completely burnt out. And what really helped me is reigniting my commitment to my own personal values. And I was an executive coach for years, for 20 years. And one of the things that I found when I dealt with my clients is that most of them didn't even know what their values were. Like if I would ask them, they would say things like, oh, of course, God, family, work hard. There's these ideas of in our culture of what's supposed to be good, and then we think those are our values. But those aren't everybody's values. And if they are, they're deeper than that. Is it God or is it spirituality? Is it family or is it my marriage? Like, what is it that is the actual values for you? And then start paying attention to those and start living like those are the most important things to you. And over time, it will heal and nourish your soul because now you're being true to what you want. It doesn't, or what's important to you, what feeds you, right? If you continue to just keep giving away from a place where your cup is empty, you'll never recover. You have to start filling your own cup, nourishing yourself, living life in a way. It doesn't mean that you give up on your business, right? But it does mean that you run your business a different way.
Yes, so good. So many women think that investing in real estate has to be hard or high stress. You are such an example of that not being the case. So, what makes your approach different and more accessible for women seeking more freedom and peace?
Yeah. Again, focusing on my values and focusing on joy and bliss. Like I was saying before, I'm just not willing to work hard enough to be worth $750 million. We decide what we're willing to do, and then we follow the path towards that. And we understand that in every single decision we make, there are benefits and there are consequences. I am giving up a certain kind of lifestyle because I'm not willing to work that hard because I've got a different set of priorities, right? There are people that like really hustle, and then some of the things that they may give up is health, relationships, some other things, right? That they're not able to prioritize during those hustle years, right? Doesn't mean they disappear. It just means that during those hustle years, that's the thing that they sacrifice or the consequence, right? So it really is about what are your priorities? What are your values? For me, the way that I have kept it less stress is because that's a high priority for me. So when I check in, this is super stressful. What am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? I
Mm.
can say, oh, wow, I didn't take my walk with my dog today. That actually makes a big difference, right? Or I'm not sleeping, or whatever it is, and I can shift that so that my priorities are being upheld.
So good. And
And actually, I want to share one thing with you, Monique. that's really interesting. We're talking so much about values. I actually have the values exercise that I use, and I do this every single year as a recheck. And your audience can have it as a special extra gift if they would like. Would that be
Amazing.
good for them?
Yeah, that would be so
Yeah.
great.
So just go to blissfulinvestor.com/values. So blissfulinvestor.com/values.
Okay, amazing. And I'll try to get the team to put a link to that. No promises. If there's not the link, then
Just for those who are watching.
yeah, if you're listening, that's it. Yeah, you have to have been listening, and then there's like an Easter egg in the episode.
Special gift.
That's why it pays to be listening. You'll catch these like special sort of super gifts, like ninja gifts. They're just for those who are here. Okay, amazing.
Ninja gifts. Yeah,
ninja gifts. It's a ninja gift. So you've interviewed some really incredible leaders on your podcast. What are one or two of the biggest lessons you've taken away from your conversations that are guiding your journey today?
The first one is there are a million ways to make $1 million in real estate. There are so very many options and so many good options and cool options. And so study. You don't have to do it my way or Monique's way or your best friend's way or your dad's way. You can do it your way. There are many ways. And then the other thing is there are many different personalities that are successful in real estate, all the way from complete introverts to complete extroverts, right? People that want to do syndications and big, cool projects like you, Monique, to people who are like, I really want to have nothing to do with this. I want to go with someone I trust and I'm going to invest in this syndication. Like the whole range of are out there succeeding in real estate. And that gives me confidence that anybody listening to us today can also be successful.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's true. There's so many paths. And yeah, one of the things I was thinking about before when you were talking about getting to 750 million, because there are women that are hustling their buttocks off and they are nowhere near even six figures. And there are others that are with relative ease getting into the 8, 9, 10 figure range. And so it's not about the money,
Or the hustle.
It's not about the hustle. It's not about the dollar. It's like it's how do you journey through, right? And Moneeka has given such great tips in terms of finding your values and really focus on, is this stressful? Does this bring me joy? Is this blissful? And sticking with that is such a good strategy. Amazing. So you have created, and you have two really special gifts in addition to the ninja gift that we talked about for our summit attendees. Can you tell us about them and how they'll support women who want to start or expand their investing journey with more clarity and bliss?
Yeah. So the first one is a free ebook, and it is about being a blissful real estate investor. And really, why I created this is because there are a few things that I talk about all the time whenever I'm on summits or in my podcast or when I'm on stage. There are a few things that I talk about all the time. And I wanted to collect those sort of top 10 strategies or my best strategies into something that was easily accessible so that people could come back and look at it whenever they wanted. And so that's what this little ebook is. And there's a special news section in there, which I've just created recently, like over the last 2 years. It was one of the strategies that helped pull me out of my own burnout. And it's about gamifying your business. So we talk about joy, we talk about bliss, we talk about pleasure, we talk about fun, we talk about strategy, and we talk about gamification, which is a new thing for me. So that's the first gift. And then the second gift is my book, which is also called Real Estate Investing for Women, just like my podcast. And it's the conversations from my podcast. I have probably 500 different episodes, but I think it's the 15 episodes that got the most listens from my listeners that I also thought were super valuable. There were some ties or whatever, and there were some chapters in there that I could have put in there that didn't feel quite aligned. Again, because people do things differently, right? But they were the most aligned with Bliss and the most listened to. And I think Monique, you're actually in there. We've done several books together.
Yeah.
And I sell that book online, but I wanted to make sure that your ladies, your VIPs, could have access to that. And there are many links in there on people who have done strategies that are different than mine. For instance, if you want to do lease options, if you want to learn about private money, all sort mindset stuff. There's all sorts of really good stuff in there that can lead you to the next step on how to actually pursue your investing business.
Okay, amazing. So the one is for all the attendees, and then the other one's for our VIPs. So definitely want to get into the VIP level.
Yes.
You can get those special gifts that are super valuable as well. We're having a VIP gathering you get to meet the incredible speakers and just get to be in community with the women, and that's invaluable. So definitely join us at the VIP level for that, and then also so you can get all these recordings, so you can hear the little Easter eggs like look at this one. You get like
the
ninja gifts.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, thank you, Moneeka. That was amazing as always. You just are the perfect example of that seven-figure lifestyle. Or eight figures in your case, where you can have like bliss, peace, alignment, and that is a powerful wealth building strategy. So definitely y'all grab Moneeka's gifts. And remember that your seven-figure lifestyle does not need to come at the cost of your peace. As Moneeka has shown us so beautifully today, you can build your wealth and love your life in the process. Moneeka, thanks again for your wisdom and your radiant energy and your blissful
Thank you
self.
so much for having me, Monique. It's always a pleasure.
Of course. I can't have a party without having you there. You're always great.
Yeah.
All right.
I so appreciate that.
Wow, that was so good. So that interview for me was all about how you can build your values, protect your bliss equilibrium, and choose the version of wealth that will actually sustain you. That's the move. That is what the seven-figure lifestyle is all about. And Moneeka is the real deal. So I'm super excited that you got to hear that. And she's shared some really special gifts. She has her free ebook with her top strategies, including how to gamify your business to prevent burnout. And for VIPs, you can get the Real Estate Investing for Women book, which are curated conversations from her most loved podcast episodes. And that bonus values exercise that she mentioned, you can click the link below to access that. So remember, this is the middle of our 20-week seven-figure lifestyle interview series. If you want all the interviews plus over $4,000 in bonuses for just $99, head to www.tinyurl.com/VIP 7 figures. The summit already happened, but your access to the incredible wisdom and the gifts hasn't. So please subscribe so you don't miss another of these incredible conversations. And we'll see you next time for Getting Real. Bye-bye.